All right, welcome folks to another episode of Short and Sweet, the foodcast that shows off all the great things about Cape Ann food and drink. I'm joined once again by Heather Atwood. How are you, Heather?
I'm good, Kory. Great to be here.
What a spot, huh?
This is like America's postcard, right?
The Great Marsh. It is
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous. And we want to thank JT Farnhams for hosting us today. And why not have Terry Cellucci, the owner of JT Farnhams, as our special guest today. How are you?
No, wait, I have to add one more thing. We do have a special guest out there in the marsh, that little heron.
Yeah,
So,
we have a
that
blue
was just
heron out there hanging out.
pointed out to us,
He's
so.
poked his head around here and there.
Two special guests,
Yeah.
Terry and our friend the
He
heron.
knows where all the fresh seafood is.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us here, Terry. And first of all, congratulations on another year in business here too. You've been here now for how long?
25 years.
Yes, and Farnham stand itself 78 years, I believe, since 1941, right?
Well, it was the Wilsons in
Oh, the Wilsons.
1941 to 44, and then
then
the Farnhams
Farnhams
had it
44.
for 50 years, and they sold it to my husband and I in 1994.
And you added, your husband's Joe,
Yes,
and you added
Joe.
the JT.
J&T, possessive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so why was it important to you to keep the Farnham's name?
They had such a wonderful reputation, and we didn't want to mess with that. We need to do what they were still doing, make frying clams, frying fish, and that's what the customers wanted. So we stayed with it.
I want to know what inspired you to buy one of the most iconic restaurants in one of the most iconic spots in America.
Well, at the time I was a stay-at-home mom. My children were going into full-time school. My husband worked in high tech, and that industry was laying off. And I had always dreamed about having a deli, and I thought this could be the Walker Creek Deli. Of course, I found out that this is not Walker Creek, it's Ebon Creek.
Yeah.
And as we were coming in to open the place and cleaning, people were knocking on the doors. When you open it, we want our clams. So I did add some deli things, but it's really all about the clams and the seafood. So now we don't really do the deli anymore. That was just a fantasy that I had, but this was a much greater, profitable, successful.
That's so
Way to
interesting.
go.
So you were living in Essex.
West Gloucester.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband grew up in West Gloucester.
Okay. So he grew up watching this place, and you purchased the property, but thinking it would be a deli, not even thinking you would continue with clams.
That was the idea.
Wow.
But it was quickly changed. We found out how important it was to have clams and keep it as is.
So you must have had to learn how to fry a clam.
Yes, I had to learn how to fry a clam, bring onions, grind onion hearts.
Had you had any experience in that before?
I worked in a restaurant as a waitress, but no, I didn't have any experience. But I did come while my children were in school, and I would observe and watch and take notes and found out everything that they did. And then when we took over, we not only did what they did, but we did more and made it better.
Better, yeah. So I have one more question.
Go right ahead.
Was there a recipe that you purchased when you purchased the building? Was there the fried clam recipe?
There was their secret recipe.
Yeah.
Most places do 100% evaporated milk. We add stuff to that. Some recipes are 100% corn flour or pastry flour. We stayed with 100% corn flour. And it's just the wash that we dip it in is
Seasoned somehow.
Seasoned.
And we talked about this before, but could you explain the evaporated milk part, like historically, why that's an ingredient? Maybe it's just what I learned.
I think it's what you learned because the fresh milk or something wasn't
I had learned that,
available.
when they were first started to fry clams, no one had refrigeration, and everybody had canned milk. That was what people used regularly, and that was what was on the shelf. So it was just much more of a standard ingredient, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So, and that has endured.
It
the
has
evaporated
endured,
milk.
yes.
Yeah. So we can't know what the seasoning is. A little hint of what is in your wash? Okay, so you had a question, Kory.
Well, no, it wasn't the I think one thing that we talked about off camera too is how times have changed. The fried clam, everyone comes up there fried clams, we know that. But in order to appease the clientele, the tourists, et cetera, you've had to diversify your menu as well.
We have. I found out what customers wanted. Their diets had changed. People that come could eat fried clams or people that can't eat it because of their dietary needs. And they wanted fresh garden salads, they wanted fresh grilled fish, they wanted chowders. And we incorporated that into our menus. We gave the customers what they've been wanting. You might get a customer that wants to eat fried clams and someone can't, and we had the fresh grilled fish, and we just put it on the grill and put it on a garden salad, and now we're able to accommodate many people.
But I want to point out that your fried clams are gluten-free.
They can be. It is upon request because we do put white flour on our onion rings. And when we do put the clams in the wash, the onion rings do go in the same wash. So we can be gluten-free. They do have to request it, and we will separate the wash. We'll separate the flour
Okay.
for cross-contamination. It's only because of the white flour on onion rings.
And they're probably great on that diet that has been named many things, but right now it's called the keto diet.
Oh,
Right?
I'm not aware of that one.
I think it used to be South Beach, and then it was
keto, yeah.
Atkins, right? So just high protein. So this is a great place to go for a keto diet meal. That's so. I'm saying that's a good thing. That's all.
Okay, good.
That's all.
Well, and I want to know the difference between you're using vegetable oil as well.
We used to do MV, and again, customers wanted.
Explain MV.
MV is meat and vegetable, so it was half and half in a block. And as customers, would ask, and again, they have dietary issues, we found that canola oil was going to be the more requested, so we do 100% canola oil now.
Yeah.
And we didn't find any change in the flavor. We've done some tests, tasters test, and to be honest with you, I can't tell the difference.
Terry, almost on cue.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, look.
Hi,
Coming
Mrs.
over
Howard.
your left shoulder. Oh, and you even know
Why
the
don't I just
staff.
break up the set? Here we go.
Look at this.
Whoa,
Unbelievable.
This is so beautiful.
Seafood chowder,
Fish
seafood
tacos.
chowder. Yep.
Okay, Terry, talk us through this. What do
Yeah.
we have here?
Okay, so this is the latest addition to our menu that we've been following the trend. Husband and I go out for lunch and dinner, and he's always ordering the tacos. And he says, that's something that we should do. It's a popular item. So we introduced these 4 years ago, and they're probably our number four seller. The fourth to clams, scallops, and haddock. These will appease anyone that has a dietary restriction because it's not fried. The grill is blackened. We do put it on a flour
I was gonna say it's like a
corn
shell,
but we
yeah.
also have corn tortillas that would be gluten-free. So we have people that come in just for our tacos, and that's what we're
But are
trying
these
to
baked
do.
or fried?
The shell is fried.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
wanted it baked, we have an already made corn taco that's baked and that is
Right.
gluten-free.
Probably not quite as
We
delicious.
do a homemade, yes, we do
Yeah.
a homemade pico and a homemade aioli sauce that goes on it, and people say this is better than some of the Mexican restaurants that we go to.
And what kind of fish?
This would be fresh haddock, and it's grilled.
Nice, nice.
And Terry, do you have a relationship with the local clammers and boats or?
Yes, we do. We have local vendors. We work with Ocean Crest in Gloucester.
Yeah.
And they're also the inventors of the Neptune Harvest,
Right.
which is a fish fertilizer, a plant fertilizer, and Ipswich Maritime, Ipswich Shellfish. So we have very good relationships with our vendors. They know how fussy my husband is. If something gets delivered and it's not to his specification, they will get a phone call and it will get returned. So nobody likes to get things returned on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
right,
they
right.
know to make it right the first time.
Okay, and we have a combo platter here.
Yeah, this is a combo that I made up special for you. It's called the Kory Special.
Is it?
Yeah, you can come in and ask
Which
for
one
it.
is the Heather
You've
special?
been dipped in
There's an
Budweiser?
Spanish, yes.
Dipped in Budweiser.
This is a fillet of haddock. We also have some scallops and some fried lobster and some fried clams. You can order these each separately.
Yeah.
The fried lobster is not on the fisherman's combo, but you could also order it as a two-way combo.
So I have a clam question. Can you explain clam strips to me?
Yes, clam strips, it's a different species of clam. It's
Chowder's here.
dredged out in the ocean. It's machine raked. They bring it in, they machine slice it, they discard their stomachs, and then they fry them up, which you probably know from Howard Johnson's. They were always the little frozen fried clam strips.
Right.
These are fresh, that most of them come out of the New Bedford area.
But they're not coming out of these waters. They're
No,
in deep
it's deep
water.
water,
Yeah, okay.
yes.
So entirely different clam.
Entirely different,
Yeah.
but still delicious.
Oh yeah, in the strip. So, but
Yes.
the bellies, when you order the bellies, you're getting the local clams.
Yes, those are native to our area. They're dug at low tide.
Right, right. And do you have any, there's so many environmental issues right now. You know, we just had a tide scare, I
Closure,
think,
yes.
right? And the green crabs, which I've written about a little bit. I don't think they're impacting you too much anymore?
Oh, they are.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
So do you worry about these with your business,
We
these
do.
issues?
It definitely affects the supply and the demand.
Huh.
When there is a local closure, we do have other sources. Maine is our second preference from having the local clams. We also go for the size of the clams. We inherited customers that like small bellies. So we get specials, which we pay extra for, because when checkers shuck the clams, they don't get paid by the hour, they get paid by the gallon.
Yeah, right.
And you can shuck a lot larger clams and fill up that gallon quicker
right.
than you can shuck the small
That
ones.
makes sense.
We do pay a surcharge for the specials, but we're giving the customers what they want.
That's really nice. So do you know when they're coming in? So you have to have the small bellies at that time? No, you just always have some small bellies.
We
around.
always have small
Yeah,
bellies. And
yeah.
if we don't, they get sent back. Or we'll put on a notice that larger bellies available upon request, because we do get customers that may not know that and they do want the larger bellies.
I like
so
the large bellies.
we'll actually go pick some out if they're there, and then other times we say we can't, fulfill that because they are small to medium-sized bellies.
Do you have a favorite on the menu at all?
Scallops.
Me too. I'm a scallops
They
guy
are
too.
looking really
we
good
do
right
day
there.
boat scallops. They're fresh. They're delicious.
Do you want to explain what day boat means, just for people who may not know?
Day
Oh,
boat
I'm
is the-
picking and nibbling, by the way.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I have to.
The
Go
boats
for it.
go out and they come back the same day, and they shuck them on the way back from fishing, the scallops, and they put them in these big white bags, and they come to us in these big white bags, and we cut them open and look at them and put them in fish tubs, and
So they're super fresh.
They are super
because
fresh.
they were caught that day. Yeah, right. Did you just have a scallop?
I had a scallop.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've always loved about Farnhams too is the batter's so light and tasty. That's, because you always
Okay, I
think
need to
fried,
have one.
95
Yeah.
degrees and fried. Like, no, wait, hold on.
No, it's
and non-greasy.
easy,
Would you like
easy.
some homemade tartar sauce?
Absolutely. Oh, there you go. So you make all the tartar in-house too?
We do. All the onions that we wring, we take the onion hearts and grind them up and mix them with some relish, and then add what they call is salad dressing. It's not a mayonnaise, it's a salad dressing. It's a little bit sweeter, and we mix that up and make them by the gallons.
Oh, nice.
All right, we have to have a little dip of that too.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want, Heather, but
I'm going to go for a clam over here. That looks like a little belly to me.
That is a little belly.
Perfect. Isn't that beautiful? Nice.
well, that's good.
Yeah?
That is sweeter.
Now you can fight over the lobster tail. I'm not sure if you've ever had fried lobster before.
You know, I was going to bring that up.
But-
Have you had fried lobster?
I have, yeah.
I have not.
It is truly the lazy man lobster.
Yeah,
you
because even
even-
casserole's too much work. The frying's a great thing.
Well, if you've got that deep fryer back there, you may as well just plunge it in. All right, you take a bite.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead. Well, because I want to ask too, Terry. It's like you're open March through the holidays almost, right?
Through December,
Yeah.
yes, we've extended our season.
Yeah, you have.
For two reasons. One, the demand, the customer base that we've established will keep us in business for those months. And the biggest thing is, how do you keep the product fresh? When there's a snow day or there's a storm, you're sitting on thousands of dollars worth of product.
Right.
And now, the lights go out or there's a flood or something. And
Look at how beautiful that is.
the staff also had requested
That's
that,
awesome.
could we keep them employed for one more month? Because, one of the issues, as everyone knows with restaurants, is trying to find dedicated staff that
Yes.
will come back year after year and that know the business.
That might
so
be the biggest issue with restaurants.
It is
here.
one of the big issues. So we have appeased our staff and said, okay, we'll open the month of December, 5 days a week, keep you employed, and we'll, depending on when Christmas falls, we'll try to stay open. And this year, Christmas does fall on a Wednesday. We will be open that following weekend.
So, and do you find that the community's been receptive to the elongated season? for
Very
it?
receptive.
Yep.
And one thing about Thanksgiving and Christmas is you get people that come back to the area. And the day after Thanksgiving and the day after Christmas, they want their fried clams.
That's a great point.
want
I
their
love
seafood.
coming to this place in the winter. It's such a cozy feeling to be in the little shack and it's cold outside and you feel like the clams are super fresh. I don't know why I feel that way, but it's a wonderful experience, I have to say.
Thank you.
So is that fried lobster. Okay, that's now my favorite thing.
Really? That's
it's
already
so
left to number
light.
one?
Yeah. That's incredible. Even more amazing than the scallop.
Really? So
Yeah.
do you have anything special planned? Because this is Essex's bicentennial this year. We know there's a
Yes.
lot of local programming going on, fireworks and parades, et cetera, et cetera. Do you have anything special happening?
Not that I know of.
You're just open. You're just here.
We're just here.
Yeah,
We are
for
supporting
everybody.
the parade and the bicentennial.
You're on the. You must be on the route. So right, the parade goes right down here.
I don't know if the parade's going down here for this year,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, they might stick to just downtown. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the
Okay.
parade route is.
So I want to return to your seasonality because I have to say you can never stop putting out the sign that says, opening, and then you put your date down, right? In
It's
March.
always the first Friday, and I spell Friday with a Y.
Right, exactly.
There you
But
go.
that to me,
Friday.
to our family, it's like the crocuses come up, or you see the first robin, and Farnham's hangs out the sign. It's like such a sign of spring. It's really nice. Yeah.
What's like? So, do you feel? Well, first of all, how's it feel to be such a big part of, your own community? Because you're an iconic place, like when the cupboard opens or Farnham's. Like everyone has this in their mind. February, March, April, like that's where you want to go and get in to be able to sit in such a gorgeous spot too. Do you feel like I'm trying to say like an extra responsibility or something towards the community, or is it just a bigger love for your community just to know that you hold a special place in their hearts?
It is. It's very wonderful to be part of that.
Yeah.
I would say it's actually nationally it's significant. I mean, this
Well,
view
true.
is in every travel magazine ever, right? You've been written up in a bunch of different national magazines, and the fried clam tour is in just about every national magazine, including the New York Times, all the national
Yes,
newspapers.
yeah.
So it's a pretty regal spot right here, I would say. How
It
does that
is.
feel?
I'm just glad to be here, and I'm very appreciative for all of the people that have made it possible, including our staff and my husband and all our vendors that have, put us on the map and that helped us receive the success.
And we talked a little earlier with Terry about how Guy Fieri actually featured Farnham's on a show, and you're still feeling that resonate today.
Yes, and he repeats it
Yeah.
Wow.
all the time.
That's
And
staying
Gourmet
power.
Magazine, Jane and Michael
Stern.
came. They were sponsored with the Chamber of Commerce. And they came before we did the renovation, and they said we were a little ramshackled clam shack on the side of the road, which it was when we bought it. It was really a roadside stand that they tried to make it a little bit more. If they could see it today, they'd be really surprised.
Yeah, you definitely went next
Yeah.
level for sure. Here,
Yeah, but it
too.
still has all the charm
Oh,
of
absolutely.
Clam Shack that
Yeah.
you're kind of looking for too. So you haven't taken any of that away. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Can you anticipate any other changes to the menu now as people's tastes have changed or what their desires have been?
Well, I tried falafels.
Really?
That's so funny.
I did. I tried
Yeah.
falafels. I'm like, I have those. Those are really good. We did the Greek dressing with it, and the staff tried them, and they put them on special. And it takes a while to catch on.
Yeah.
But we weren't willing to take. It just took too much aside from what we were doing best. So sometimes it's just good to just stick with what you have
Yeah.
and do what you do best. Because people ask us, "You don't have any steamers?" And we could add that, but we really need to just focus on the fried clams. That's what we do best.
How about clam fritters? That's kind of
We
an
tried
old.
that too.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a very good
Okay.
recipe for it, so.
It's a very old Essex
It
recipe,
is.
I think. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do love them. They are one of my favorites.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do too. I really like them. That's why I asked. So we haven't explained this dish. You want to?
Yeah, so this will be one of the trends that people want is they don't want necessarily eat fried fish. So we do have grilled haddock, and it's on a fresh garden salad made
beautiful.
to order. And again, it's a great option for people who cannot have fried seafood.
And easy too.
And it's
Yeah.
And delicious.
a huge portion.
Yeah, and it's great when you are a family coming and you've got all these different dietary needs, and you're the niece is gluten free and the
Yes.
uncle is low fat. Yeah, that's great. It's a
You might
beautiful
wanna look
salad.
at that. Beautiful whitefish.
And the other one we have, and this was, we did make a clam chowder,
Yeah.
haddock chowder, and my mother-in-law gets the credit for that because we were very
This is
busy
you,
trying to
Kory,
run
'cause
a
I'm
restaurant
Well,
and
so
a
let's
family.
do this too, though, so everyone gets a good look.
Yeah.
She would make the clam and the haddock chowder, and at the end of a
Whoa,
shift,
look how beautiful that is.
someone had
Oh
mixed
my
the
gosh.
clam chowder with the haddock chowder.
Isn't that the best?
Well, we call it clish now. It is on the menu.
Really?
But that day, I was like, I have a whole pot of clam chowder and haddock chowder. So I went in the kitchen, which I worked, and I cooked up some shrimp, and I cooked up some scallops, and I cooked up some
That's all in
lobsters,
here.
and I added it
That's
to the pot
amazing.
and put it on special. And it's probably number 2 seller to our
Is it
clam
really?
chowder. It's very
I
popular.
have never seen such an abundant seafood chowder. That is beautiful,
Oh.
really beautiful. Have you competed in the Essex Clam Chowder Festival?
Yes, we have.
And have you done?
Got the judges vote 2 times.
All right,
we
excellent.
didn't get the public vote, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change my recipe
no.
because we do have a following for our clam chowder. So
Yeah.
I just want everyone watching at home, and especially our crew here on set, to realize how delicious this food actually is.
No. Yeah, exactly. We tell them all that it's how good it is. and-
Stay at bay for now.
Yeah, right, right.
Oh my God.
I have to have a little taste of this
Go
because I
ahead.
was really curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you had a little video or something about this, and I thought that looked really good.
I got a scallop in mine too. It's great.
That is beautiful. It is a perfect stew.
Yes.
And the base is really nice.
Yeah, and
too.
again, it feels light, and I love that everything's light. The batter's light, the chowder's light. 'Cause you
Right.
don't, sometimes you don't expect it. Even when you want something a little heavier, winter time or whatever, it's perfect then. But that's what I love about.
And this is gluten-free, as all our chowders are gluten-free, except for the lobster bisque that we do make, and we've tried to do the gluten-free flour with that, but it just didn't taste, so we still have to put the white flour in.
Yeah. So you
The
do a lobster bisque.
we
I
do.
didn't know
Yes.
that. Wow.
So Terry, did you sort of grow into loving the culinary part of running Farnhams?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
So when did you know, oh my God, I'm kind of getting hooked now?
Probably from the day that I bought it. I
Yeah,
was in
really?
the kitchen, I was cooking. If I wasn't here, my husband was working. We would work opposite shifts, and I actually enjoyed cooking.
So what's your favorite day? The day you open the season or the day you close for the season?
I would say both.
Yeah,
I look forward to the opening, and then at the end, like school teachers,
Right.
comes June. Okay, I need a little rest.
Yeah.
But luckily, off season, it's not as busy because if it was as busy like it is in the summertime, it's really hard to go that pace.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
7
exactly.
days a week. So it is nice to have a little bit of respite.
Yeah.
But we were here a couple days ago scouting the location before 11. They opened, and it was already, the lot was already filled. It's filled now. You've seen people come in and out too. So I mean, jackpot.
Yeah.
Terry.
Right.
I mean, this is pretty special what you have going on here.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But it's special for the whole community that
Oh,
we
yeah.
that we have these places.
So yeah, so how cool is that? I mean, you must have old timers coming all the time sharing their stories.
It's
I wonder if some even
generational.
know
Yeah.
Wilsons and Farnhams from way back.
They all know the Farnhams, the Wilsons, no.
Yeah, that was short-lived.
That was
yeah.
a short-lived. But
Yeah.
we have generations of people that have brought their families. One of the girls' families that come in, as a matter of fact, I think they're related to the Pippins, the selectmen,
Yeah.
came in and she was gluten-free. She was the first child at age 4 to order a grilled haddock sandwich. And to this day, she comes in, she's like 24 years old,
Yeah.
and I keep telling her, you were the first one. Like, I didn't think
Aw.
kids ate grilled fish sandwiches. I thought they ate hot dogs and grilled
Right.
cheese.
How cool is that?
Great. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So generations, grandparents, great-grandparents, we've had celebrations of life here. People come here and they'll say it was my great-grandmother's favorite place, and they have a service here because they have such fond memories with their grandparents.
That's pretty cool.
Coming in.
Do you have any specific stories that make you just really proud, like stop you in your tracks and say, wow, I'm really proud of that I have this place? Any special guests besides Guy Fieri?
Michael Simon.
Oh.
They did the Clam Wars.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Woodman's versus Farnhams.
Right.
We've had a Phantom Gourmet here on numerous occasions.
So and the other thing too, it must just feel cool being a destination place because it's where the locals go. We know that much. But when you're getting people, whether they're day tripping or they're just here with their family, maybe for a little bit in the summer, and they make a point to, we have to be at Farnham's and we have to have our fried clams. So
Yes.
what's that like when
It's
you see
very
that?
rewarding. you know, for to have repeat customers, and there's stories and history behind it, and pictures all over Facebook now they post. It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
very rewarding
Yeah.
to know that we are part of family's tradition.
So I want to return to those green crabs just a little bit because as I said, I had written a lot about them. Could you say a little bit more about the impact you've seen? Because they eat the soft shell crabs, right?
They do. So I think they went out with like a cheesecloth to try to protect the seedlings of the clams, and the green crabs come in, they can eat right through that.
Cheesecloth. Well, they can eat through anything,
They can eat through anything, and they have no predator. So I know that they're trying to find predators and a market for the green crab. And Ipswich had done a green crab festival and asked around different restaurants, can you serve something with green crabs? Can we make it a market so that we can keep down their populations?
Right.
But they do affect the supply and the demand if they're eating all the little small seeded clams.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
going to
big-
affect the population of the clams.
Right.
And I think at one time they were offering bounties for clammers
Yeah.
if they could catch the green crabs just to keep their populations down.
What I had heard is they're doing a lot of trapping of the green crabs
Oh, okay.
in the Great Estuary. Is that what this is called? But in Maine, they were doing a different method, and they have lost 70% of their soft shell clam beds.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's really pretty dire there. Yeah. So when you were saying that
Astounding.
you go to Maine clammers when these beds are not doing, if we have issues, it's going to be a problem.
It definitely increases the price of clams. It used to be considered an affordable family tradition. People would come in and say, I used to pay $5 for a large bucket of clams. And you have to put it into context, what clammers get paid, the cost of doing business, and it's not considered a cheap eat anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We do try to do fish and chips, $10, because we don't want people to not come here because clams and seafood tends to be very expensive because of the supply. It could be
Right.
low in the
Well, and
demand.
the
Terry,
labor.
your prices are
The
not
labor.
expensive.
We
in the
try to
least.
stay within and make it reasonable.
Yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
try to keep.
So because I think we have a few minutes, could you sort of describe the process of clamming, what these guys have to do? Because it's hard work, right?
It is. It's backbreaking work. And it used to be full-time jobs, and now you can't make a living having a full-time clammer's job. They do go out at tide. They're limited at low tide to so many pounds of clams. And sometimes there's two tides, so the clammer will go out twice, but they're only allowed to bring in so many.
At a time, and they're raking this
And they're
muddy
raking
sand,
it,
right?
yes, yeah.
With thick sand.
With
Yeah.
thick sand and-
Have you ever clammed before?
I haven't.
Oh, you
no.
really not?
No.
You can do actually. You can do a bunch of things around here and clam on your own, or
I
if you
think you
just
can get
go
a
out.
day permit.
But you can even do something simple. Well, yeah, if you want to harvest or
Maybe
do
we
something
should
like
do a
that.
show.
But for fun, you can even take a kayak or something out around here anytime and
Yeah.
go. And once you get low tide to get all those sand flats, you can go. You'll see the little air bubble on the surface, and because
That's
the
where it
clam
is.
immediately wants to start digging down, just down. You have to chase it, so they have to rake after it.
And they do the rake because the shells are very
Soft,
Yeah.
right, right.
So
And they don't
the
want to
clammer's
break
rake.
the
Exactly.
And does it take? It's a really good clammer who has unbroken shells. Is that right? Like they come out with.
That I don't know, but the shuckers, you can tell really good
That's
shuckers
a
when
talent.
they keep the clam together. So see how this one is broken?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
We
yeah.
call those barrel of monkeys, but the shuckers, if
You're
they
right,
can
yeah, they
keep,
do.
if
So
they
that's
can keep
the-
the neck attached. So I'm not sure how much the clamming does because they'll actually steam open the clam a little bit before
Oh,
they
to
shuck
shuck
them.
it? Oh.
But it's the art of
Keeping that in one
keeping
circle.
it circle.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I know.
You learned and you got to eat a little bit.
I did. Yeah. Exactly.
So, well, I think that's a wrap.
I think our
it's
staff
time
is, like,
to eat.
really hungry.
I know.
Yeah.
We see the
I know.
lips quivering behind the cameras over
Exactly.
here, too. Terry Cellucci, thank you so much for
You're
being part of
welcome,
Short and
thank you
Sweet
for
today and
choosing
having us here.
Farnhams for your destination.
And thanks for this beautiful lunch.
You're welcome.
Now, so you're open 7 days a week.
7 days a week from 11 o'clock to 9. Those are our summer hours. And do call for the fall and winter hours because our hours do change depending on the business, and it obviously slows down in October and November.
Okay, great. Well, I look forward to coming in the summer and then in those really cold months too.
Thank you.
So there you go. So come see Joe and Terry Cellucci. That's the JT and JT Farnhams right here on 133 in Essex. A gorgeous spot right before the Great Marsh. Thanks again, Terry. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We'll
Kory.
see you soon on Short and Sweet.